Okay, as usual, I think it's going to take about 10 seconds to set it all up, and as usual, it takes about a minute. Yeah, all right, whatever. It's a surprise stream. It might be a short stream, and so I think that balances out. I think I'm all right. I think we're okay. Yes? We're making a game. Yes. It's a battle card game. Yes. Given that, cards could be defeated in battle. What we're working on is a special effect we're calling a pearl drop. And this particular pearl resurrects a card. Resurrection. So the card is there, it dies, it comes back magically. Actually, the concept is not only simple, according to the rule, even if we have to make a brand new card, it shouldn't be that hard to implement. And that's true, I'll concede that. But what we're finding is in the way that we've been approaching this project, um, I guess I'll just leave it as it's not the way I normally do things. The prototype script that we have to run the battle, we want to maintain it for a while longer before we revise the whole thing in light of all the things we want it to do when we update. We do not yet know all the things, but we're close. This idea of having your player go into battle with things that they have collected. Um, it's not a deck building game, so this is our equivalent to that. You collect these special pearls when you do campaigns. And then you have a collection of pearls, and they all do special things. Actually, yeah. So a speed boost is a basic one. And there are a few basic ones that we already have working perfectly. You can take it in, use it in battle, and it all works. So we're working through these tricky ones because some are quite crazy. But some borrow on the same ideas as it gets more powerful. And there are more rare pearls that are more powerful. We're going to get there. But while the first few are handled well, we're working towards some of the more crazy ones. And not that this is too crazy, but Second Chance is the name of. Hi, hold on. Let me actually check and make sure everything's working. I guess there's a need for testing. One, two, three. Okay, just checking. Just checking. But we are missing the music. Can we just concede that without the music, this live stream of some ape coding is rather boring? Okay, so we have these collections of pearls. They are supposed to do special things. Uno momento. Wow, I get the music to work, please. Because until I kickstart the thing, it just refuses to work. Um, all right, I'm gonna hope that's good. All right, I'll come back and deal with the music if it isn't good. So I'm gonna take this pearl. It's going to resurrect one card. That's its power. Okay, cool. Show me that. Well, we've gotten to a place where we can actually resurrect the card. Okay, good. It's the extra things that it's going to complicate that are the problem. This is what I mean by this way of working. I'm going to pick all these cards that are about to die. These are terrible cards, actually. Yeah, let me get this one to die right away. They're all going to die. These are terrible cards. When we're talking about the script that's running this battle, it is, janky and held together with strings and rubber band and spit. The whole point is we want to represent what it looks like because we're still working on the design. We're able to accept changes to the rules fairly easily because we have all these things implemented. It took a while to get there. Again, this is not the way I normally work, but we need to work with this janky thing while I'm trying to do pretty crazy stuff we never anticipated, like, oh yeah, card is going to die sometime, and I want you to immediately revive it. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop it mid-battle. Expose the thing that we need to expose. This is handling the effect. It knows which cards it needs to look at. It's ours, our cards, our 3 cards. There are 2 cards in battle. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I think so far so good. It should be, this is the effect. All the data for the effect is being managed here. So this is okay. Let's pull it. And it knows that something died. Okay, the effect is going in the wrong place. That's an interesting thing. There's an error about something. So I was getting close. This is, well, that is card index 3. This is the wrong one. First of all, Rail Boots was not even in battle yet. Oh, it says it's flipped up, though. Hold up. Ah, that's not Rail Boots. So yeah, this is the card that died. Right? No, Altar Flare died. Okay. So this is 0, 1, 2. This is, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is index 4. That's what it should be. This is wrong. Where the effects are being shown is wrong. And this error popped up. I think, of course, they're all related. According to my logs, it's paused because these cards are not in battle yet, which is convenient. And this is why I haven't done anything with this particular rule yet because it's really just there for testing. So here we are in the middle of this feature we're trying to stand up within the context of this janky code that is still handling the battle. As much as possible, I've been trying not to touch that and not depend on it except for the data. And I mean, I am depending on it to run the battle. But I don't want to, I don't want to go in and change this prototype script now. This is the crux of it. If I change the script now to make this feature work, I will need to change it again and again and again for other things that we know we want or will want, and we don't know what they are yet. In other words, hold off on that. Let's figure out all the things and change it once. That's the plan. We're going to refactor in a big way later. This is still, for now, called a prototype script. So, yeah. The plan is to do this, and that's making this effort a little harder. Gotta be honest. Resurrecting a card would not be difficult. But in this context, it is, because there are some aspects to the way this is laid out that is fine. There are some aspects to this that need to change based on other things. I don't want to assume anything I want to be able to have this, the phrase I've been using is non-destructive. This feature should be implemented in a non-destructive way. I shouldn't have to mess with anything else to stand it up. And for the most part, I think we've gotten there. I mean, that said, I did just run into an error. But here we go. The battle is running and a card dies. Our tool is managing this effect and knows to reserve that wrong card. Oh no, yeah, the wrong card. It managed the wrong card, but it did reserve it to resurrect. That's why the effects went there, actually. It's interesting, though, that, so in other words, I've been hoping that I had synced all of this data, and I'm realizing that's just not the case. This is not ShadowInt. It thinks that 0, 1, 2, 3, actually that is the right index. So yeah, it tried to resurrect the wrong card. This one down here, that's why the effects happened down here. Boy. Okay. So that it detected it, and it's set to do it at the end of the battle cycle, and it got to the end of the battle cycle. That's when this happens. So let's look at this error and move on from here. So I think, as you can see, I did add some visual effects. I think, thank you. I think it's reasonable to say, although it totally failed here, it's reasonable to say that we had progress on this effect to the point where I'm really just dealing with stuff that happens in rare cases. Here's an example. I can drop this pearl at any time in the cycle of battle. And although we have mechanisms to prevent you dropping a pearl at the end of the round, which I have to do with the pearl dropper, it's a separate tool, it's already done. This manager needs to manage any effect that is valid. It could be, there's two cases. One is a card is already dead, and then you dropped the pearl. Currently, this system just looks for the first dead card and considers it a card that just now died, which is not true. I need to fix that. Yeah, that's this note. Somehow I need to say, look at the cards that are there now. Actually, I know how to do this. Look at the cards that are there now and discount any card that's already dead. We're not going to watch them. They are dead. There's no resurrecting something after the fact. This pearl is meant to be dropped, and then it sits and waits for the next card to die. So this pearl effect can effectively look at the cards it needs to look at and remove the ones that are already dead. And then that should be okay. So we're going to have to try this to implement a feature that solves this fairly rare occurrence. I mean, I can force it to happen. Just drop the pearl after one card dies. And see if it, in fact, holds off and actually takes the next card that dies. The other case that I saw was if all of your cards are dead, and even though one is reserved to be resurrected, this prototype battle script still does its job and ends the round. So there's your card, it comes back, but the round ended. And that's wrong. You know, again, this would be frankly easier if I start destructing things. If I go in and start messing with the script, it's easy enough to say, I need to tell that script to stop the end of a round. Just prevent the end of a round because I'm holding on to a card that's going to come back. The round should not end. there are other mechanisms on that prototype script that I should find and hook into to keep the round alive. Now, it's possible I've already fixed this, but it's a rare case and I need to keep testing to find it. So this is kind of where we are. Then that said, there's a brand new issue that we just ran into. And it's actually an old issue. This is actually an old issue. So this is the system script that moves cards around from one deck to another. In fact, it's actually removing it from play. And we've seen this one happen before. This is effectively saying, hold up, you can't actually keep this, wait a minute. Okay, I think I know what happened. I was dealing with one of these problems. And to fix it, I re-implemented something we fixed previously. So that's why this old problem just popped back up. Well, if you're familiar with the game of whack-a-mole, that is what we've got. This is saying there were some cards in play, and you're asking me to now remove a card from play and put it in the discard pile, but it's not there. So it can't. And it did, in fact, know that there are effectively two cards now, because I've resurrected this one. This one has died twice. I'll clean that up later. But when this dies at the end of the round, part of what the prototype script does is say, great, now let's make sure that it's no longer in play. Let's take it off the table. Well, it's not here. And so it is not found. This index is out of range. And I believe I fixed that before by making sure it was still there. And yet, I think I undid that to try and fix one of these rare issues. So this is a bit slower than normal because rather than developing a feature from scratch, we are developing a feature within the context of a larger system that's already in place. And we're trying very desperately not to go in and mess with. It's a bit slower. But we've already gone through a few of these pearls and we're able to get there. This is not impossible. What I'm struggling with is the best way to do it to avoid issues, of course, but also make it so that we're clear about what we need to do with the prototype script when we get there. We got these stat changes, we're working on the resurrection. And when we get through these first few, we're going to be able to do the other ones easier because a lot of them kind of duplicate these core functions. So we're focusing on these on purpose. We're purposely going through these problems right now. It's just a little slow. All right. And I'm going to make this a short stream, partly because I have stuff to do, but also I hadn't planned on doing much more than just coming back to this and finishing the thought because we got a lot of this done. So that said, I'm going to take that away. This has a couple of things that I added. I changed where I restore hit points. Yeah, it was right here. Of course, we're resurrecting and then we restore the hit points, right? In other words, while it's defeated, we set up some things, but then we finish the job at the end of the round. One of the things we start is the visual effects, and that's kind of fun. But in order to solve one of the problems I had, which is don't end the battle, I'm doing this, and I have a strong feeling this is exactly what caused that. This is exactly what caused that issue we just ran into, because this used to be down here. This is happening the moment the card is defeated, and I say, no, wait. Let's do this down here. Let's do this when we actually get to the end of the battle cycle, and the rest of the card is being restored. We turn the thing on. We do those things. I moved it back up, and I was doing it simply to say, it looks like our battle is ending even though there are cards on the table. It's being restored late. By the time we get here, it's possible or likely or absolutely that the prototype battle script has detected there's no more cards, the round is done, and it shouldn't. So I moved this line that restores the hit points earlier so that that battle script says, oh, there are still cards. Okay. It's almost like I want to do this twice. Set it to the maximum health, and then at the end of the battle cycle, set it to the maximum health again, just to be sure. I mean, it did solve that problem when it was up there, and it did. So, okay. Part of what makes this slow is having to analyze the old script. It's just true. So I want to see if I put this back in both places. Like literally, you see the card dying? No, it's not dead. I'm going to restore all its health, even though I show that it dies, right? And then at the end of the battle cycle, do that again just to make sure it is full health. I know that's not fair. Actually, I know that's going to break the rule for other cards that attack it during the battle cycle. Eesh. This got messy quick. We were already aware that the rule itself is more complicated than it appears. The rule says your card in battle that's defeated is restored immediately. The word immediately, let's game that out. I'm in battle. We're still in the middle of a battle cycle, and a card defeats me, so I'm done. And I'm restored immediately. And so can another card in the same battle cycle, like next, also attack and defeat me? Like right then? Yeah, should be able to. It would certainly look confusing for the player, though. And that's one of the issues we've been dealing with. How does this here? The player needs to see the card defeated in order to appreciate what just happened. Otherwise, it doesn't look like anything happened. And that's actually a game breaker. That's not okay. We need to show what happened. Not just because it's pretty in visual effects, but because the rule says something's going to happen. We need to reflect that that actually happened. Even if what that means is we show the card die and wait till the end, and then resurrect it with big showy effects. Boy, I almost want to say we should. Okay, here's the problem. I just now realized this is the problem. If we don't restore the health, the prototype script says, excuse me, the gain on my microphone is up very high, and there's lots of music and, noise and jungle. I just have to mute every once in a while. problem is the prototype script manages this battle largely based on the hit points of the cards. This is not rocket science. It makes sense. If the card has no hit points, it will skip it in the battle cycle. If there are no cards with hit points, the round is done. At least that's how it works. It makes sense. So to keep the battle going, even though it was defeated, we are going to resurrect it. The idea is, well, then we need to keep some hit points around so the battle script understands that the battle should continue. But if we do that, we are inviting cards to attack it because the card has hit points. It's effectively, if there's hit points, the card is there. If there's no hit points, the card is not there, and the round might end. That's why I'm running into this problem. That's really the only mechanism I'm working with right now. I either need to make a new one, which I don't want to do, or I need to find one that's already there. Hey, prototype battle script, don't end the battle. This one's going to come back. But along the way, please don't attack this card. It's not actually there. You see, I'm telling it to do two different things, and this is why it's not working well. All right, I'm going to try the crazy, which is to say restore its health twice. This means it might be attacked. And we're effectively going to give it all its hit points back at the end of the battle cycle anyway. This is terrible. This is going to work. I need to think it through. Our goal is to have... wait, what was the other thing I wanted to do? Pardon me. There were two things I wanted to fix, but I just want to remind myself what that was. Oh, defeat detected in the moment. I actually know how to do that. We also saw it pick the wrong card. That was weird, right? Oh, this noise. Pardon me. I'll mute for a second. Yeah, I picked a bad time to stream if I wanted quiet. It's noisy in the jungle. All right. There's more than a few problems, but one is the idea that if I dropped this pearl later after a card had died, that's going to be a problem. And I'm going to fix it later. What I'm going to do is go through the cards that it's looking at. It's resurrecting the wrong card. Analyze what happened. I have a feeling cards died anyway. And they can die for lots of reasons, like Luck Win is a really good case. So here were the cards. These were mine. This is theirs. Our card killed theirs. Our card killed another one of theirs, but it turned around with a Luck Win and died. So this Mirror Wolf was set to be resurrected. And the battle cycle ended. So Mirror Wolf was resurrected. Which one is this? Is that the one? that resurrected? I don't think it was. I think it was one that was low, but I could be wrong. And uh, Zombie Bear got another. She's this luck card really got like 3 luck wins in a row. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So it took out this card. It took out the same card again with a luck win. Okay. All right. Which, I mean, has to be able to happen. And that happened after the battle cycle. So actually, this did sort of work. I would say the effects are very slow. That's not okay. It's so slow, it's confusing. But it started at the right time and it did the right thing. And all 3 of our cards were defeated. And so the round ended. Actually, that's right. Okay. Uh, I'm squinting because it's like, wait, did that just work? And if it did, why? Um, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move, do a little bit on this other thing that's frankly rare, but see, it's. I think we're handling this. The issue that we just saw with the index that was out of range is prevented because we keep the card alive till the end of the round. We're totally cheating though. I guess the best way to handle this is there's a card in battle and like walk through this with me here. If we have cards in battle and one dies, there's only 2 cards left, and it could be that these cards die, very quickly as well. I mean, I need to handle edge cases, and this is one of the edge cases that I'm thinking of. So, wham, we got wiped out all in one battle cycle, and it's in quick succession 1, 2, 3. Well, this card was set to resurrect. All of our cards are dead. So, in order to handle this for our script, I'm saying, hold on, this card actually has hit points, even though it's not there yet. We're going to pop it back on. We're already starting some visual effects. Don't worry, it's going to stay there. And that's true. But these other cards see this. We don't see it. They see it. And they can attack. In fact, there could be a luck win, which is like an automatic defeat for the attacking card. This card does not attack, though. Actually, it does. This card can have a turn, even though it's not resurrected yet. Oh, okay. If it has hit points, it's there. If it doesn't have hit points, it's not there. If it's there, it can attack, and it can be attacked, and it can be defeated. If it's not there, it can't do those things. In fact, what we want is this card is not there. So nothing can attack it because it's not there, and it cannot attack. I've actually seen a card set to be resurrected make an attack, and we can't have that. So the thing that I'm using to keep the battle alive and not end the round should not be this hit points. It shouldn't, because of all those reasons. It took a while for me to test enough to see all these reasons, but now there's overwhelming reasons why using hit points is terrible. I will restore the hit points when the card comes back. Until then, it's actually dead. This makes sense. However, this script currently looks at the cards on my side and their side and says, hey, are all your cards dead? If so, the round is done. And that makes sense, except magic. No problem. Just make magic happen. So I need a new mechanism to effectively say, no matter what, this Pearl's effect means the round cannot end. We have one card that will be resurrected if it is defeated. The round cannot end. After this effect is done and the card is resurrected, then you can end the round. Yeah. Things that seem fairly simple in the core gameplay, we have to revisit and understand in a new way because we're implementing these new features for the pearls. For example, I can't just go to the next round and resurrect the card then. It's not okay. I actually need to just find a new way to stop the round from ending. So let's go look at it, because I think that is the key to all of our woes, is just find this other way to do this instead of hit points. And it probably relates to that bug we just saw about moving cards out of play. I'm going to have to deal with that. Uh, and there's one other thing I did want to mention to talk about what my thought process is on this. This manager is effectively implementing brand new rules, right? All the pearls have their own rules. Yet it is one tool. And what I've been trying desperately to do is to see if I can just do this with data, like have the data that I need to implement the rules as necessary from here. As opposed to something completely over-engineered would be something like, hey, if you're looking for a modular way to implement rules, why don't you just use the component system that Unity has? Make each one of these effects a component. Add the component, it runs, no fuss, no muss. You can remove the component when it's done. Well, yeah, except that's completely over-engineered. It's such overkill, I won't go there. But I'm effectively trying to do something like that. These effects are meant to be added or removed as needed, and they are meant to work together modularly. So I'm kind of doing that. I'm seeing how far I can get. If I do think about it like instructions or rules or code, I can actually realize, hold on, am I doing an initialization for input? Am I processing that input as data? Am I giving output? Input, processing, output. That's how you think about functions. That's what I'm doing. Should I do more than just this perform immediate effect? Should I also have a step where I actually initialize the effect, process it, and end the effect? I already have an effect end flag. I may have picked a bad time to stream. I already have an effect end flag, but I'm wondering, do I need one that says, hold on, don't process this effect until you're initialized. Don't end the effect until you processed. Those flags would actually help in some of the problems that I'm having, and I keep coming back to this. I may actually want an effect initialization step, which is, I think actually that makes a lot of sense because I won't process this effect until I know it's been initialized. In the case of this resurrect pearl, it is go find the cards that I'm going to act upon. Initialize those cards properly. Right now I'm doing it sort of when I drop the pearl. In other words, I'm kind of doing some of this initialization, but the more I find initialization things I need to do, the more I see like a reason to separate this out. Have every pearl effect manage its own initialization properly. Keep it organized, but also it acts more like code, which is what I'm actually doing. I'm implementing rules. Okay. In that way, I should deal with this one. This is when I am looking at all the cards that I'm going to work on. Let's take out the ones that are dead, right? In fact, I should kind of do that. Wait, don't I do that with, I should do that with every single effect. When is there a time when I should be affecting cards that are already defeated? Uh, Never? I think the answer is never. Set up Pearl Effect card data. You know what? Actually, that doesn't just make sense for this effect. I think that makes sense for every effect. I never really thought about that, but that's true. I'm going to affect cards that are on the table. If it's defeated, it's not on the table. I don't think the player minds. In fact, I think it makes sense for what the player sees on the table. Done. Okay, by the way, I had cleared out this local data and I figured out, oh yeah, what I should do is just have the prototype script tell me when it's clearing its data, and I'll clear mine. That solved that issue. So I do need to clear it, just not aggressively. Blah blah blah. Account for a Pearl effect on all cards, which does happen, but most of the time it's just affecting one side. And here I am setting up the Pearl effects for which I'm setting up which cards do I need to watch and affect. This is where I should say, yeah. Let's take out and ignore any of those cards. Yeah, I'm just grabbing them all. Look at this. I'm just grabbing them all. That is wrong. What I wasn't accounting for is when you drop a pearl in the middle of battle, like after some cards have died. So let's do that. Let's account for that now. Remove cards already defeated. Yep. So if this has already been set, whether it's all the cards or just your cards or just their cards, it doesn't matter. Go through them and reform this array. Uh-oh, reform that array. Um, so what I'm worried about is getting things out of sync because there is data that I have about all the cards at the beginning of the round. I keep track of all the cards, even the ones that are dead. And that array needs to sync up with all the other arrays. But I think I've already solved that issue. I'm just thinking that through. These cards are the objects. So this is going to stay, all the cards, even if they're dead. Particularly because I need to resurrect some. There's another array of data that syncs with this, and it is all the data of the cards in the same way, and even the ones that are dead. And that's fine. So those are in sync. This, however, can be different. I think that's true. Pearl's card effect. Pearl effect has card effects. And yes, we did solve this issue. Because this index is going to refer to the things that are totally consistent. So even if we remove these, yes, I did solve this problem already. Okay, good. So, okay. We're good. I can do this. I just wanted to make sure it was going to be effective and non-destructive. Yes. I don't want to cause more problems. I want to fix problems. Yes. So I need to reform this array of card effects within the Pearl effect such that the only ones that are left are the ones that are alive. Like literally you just dropped a pearl. All the ones that are already dead stay dead. Sorry, buddy. That sounds exactly right. That sounds exactly right. So, Pearl effects, Pearl data includes Pearl effects and card effects. And I'm going to grab a temporary array of these. Oh, I don't know how many. Ugh. Okay. I need to do a very messy two-pass thing to, yeah, I'm going to do the messy first and then I'll fix it. So, okay. What I mean by messy is, see, I can't use I, can I? I can, good. I mean messy because I can't just make a new array and copy over the ones that are alive until I know how many those are. I can't make a new array without knowing how many to make. So I actually need to do an extra step, which is count how many are left. Like literally count. If I can spell. Okay. So Bassist. This is right. Hey, cards. Right now, this relates to cards in play, which is a reference to the object on the table. One way I can tell that it is dead is by how this has already been managed. I think that's actually safe. And I'm going to eat my words if this is wrong. Okay, in other words, this card effect has no idea if this is alive or dead. But, I mean, there's more than one thing. Let's check this out. Card data doesn't have hit points. Battle data does. Um, but finding it is kind of a pain in the butt. Okay. This is lesser of evils, I suppose. The cards in play includes this card index that is the index I need to access the card. And the way that I tell that it's dead or not is if this is active. So I'm counting how many are still alive. This would be alive because when it is defeated, this particular one gets turned off. Just to be sure that I have that correct, I'm going to log back when it knows it died. Which card? Well, this card, actually. There we go. So it'll tell me, it'll count how many are alive, but it'll tell me that it is already defeated. And this will be the way that I confirm that this condition is good for use here. So if I know how many I have, okay. Now I can make a temporary array that, yes, Visual Studio knows what I'm doing. And I will go through all of these again, but I needed to know how many to do first. I think I'm using count again, in fact. After I use it here, I can reset it and reuse it. This is going to be, I'm going to go through all of the original effects. Because potentially I am using any of them and I don't know which ones until I do this condition. If. So I literally needed to count first, otherwise I don't know how many to do. I know, this is messy. But take the, this is a card effect, right? Oh, wait, why is it a pearl effect? No, because wait, what? What? What am I missing here? This is a pearl effect, and this should also be a pearl effect. Hold on. Oh, I'm reusing a variable I've already used. Yeah, no. Don't do that. I hate to do that, but I'm going to do it Anyway, yeah, dumb. Anyway, it is temporary, so who cares, right? All right. Making a new array of the card effects. I'm using the same condition to just copy only the ones that we need. And in the process, count up to make sure I'm only going to that length. Because I used the same condition, this has to be consistent from here to here, meaning I know exactly how many and I'm going to reach that limit. And so, yes, at the end of this, effects, this index, card effects equals temp2 and done. Because I make it, I tweak it, and then I assign that back to its original. As long as this isn't wrong, should be okay. Oh, so I needed to solve an issue. If you drop a pearl, I mean, this is going for any effect, actually. Please don't affect cards that are already defeated. That's what this says. Unfortunately, originally I was grabbing all the cards and not thinking about if you drop it later. So this also grabbed all the cards even if they were already dead. This made cards that had been defeated previously suddenly appear when the second chance pearl is dropped. So that was wrong. This should fix that because not just for the second chance effect, but for all effects, we only look at cards that are still alive. You're already being prevented from dropping the pearl if the round is done, so this has to have something in it. So I'm hoping that this problem is now solved. This, I think we need to find a brand new way to prevent. And it's because we found so many issues with holding the card hit points up. If I kill a card and it can attack and take damage and then it gets restored again at the end of the battle round. I mean, there's so many things that are wrong with that. Instead, I need to go into the prototype script and say, is there another easy way to just tell it not to end the round? If not, can we bite the bullet and make an adjustment to the prototype script and specifically say, here's a special case. Do not end the round. I'm avoiding that. I'm avoiding that. I'm avoiding that. I'd like to knock these out. I'm going to test this one first. I don't think we've done anything on this that's worth testing yet. In order to test this, I need to bring a second chance pearl in. I mean, I guess I could do it with any pearl, but I'm going to see if the cards to effect is properly reformed after I drop it, even though a card is already defeated. I think I got that. You got that? All right. Counting on you. Here we go. This is the pearl we need. Let's cheat and get it back. All right. We're going to let a card die first. So I need a really weak card. And of course, I've got strong cards. Good enough. Gonna let that one die at some point. and then we'll drop it. We'll just try to catch it. Or we might just win the round. Okay, so a pearl has died. I mean, sorry, a card has died. We haven't dropped the pearl yet, but we should. Just want to make sure these cards are still alive right now. Yes, these are. Those are. Okay, so the battle's still going. Just want to make sure. This data knows what's going on before we can see it. Cool. Let's drop this pearl right now, real quick. Oop, too late. Like literally the moment it was in process of falling. Okay, so that's a case where tough luck, monkey, you lost the pearl. Oof, that's so tough. I wouldn't do that normally. I mean, I'm trying to test, but if I were in battle and I did that, that would be dumb. That would literally be a teaching moment for the player. Yes, you want to be careful about when you drop your pearl. That being the case, I'm just trying to test. Can I please get this going? All right, I literally need a card that's going to die really fast. And then I need cards that are going to stick around for a little while. Okay. The formation is something I could manage to make that easier, but I'm just trying to get this done. So again, I'm going to drop this as soon as I see a card die. And I'm going to pause. Okay. Pause. Shoot. See what happened? It resurrected just in time. I mean, I dropped it at the moment before the end of the battle cycle. Oh, gone. So this effect is already done. Because it did its job. It resurrected a card. And there's the effect. Well, at least it picked the right card. Wow. Okay. Again, I need to test with the results I'm looking for in tests is the ability to evaluate the result. And if I can't evaluate it, because even though it looks like everything worked, I can't tell what happened, then it's a failed test. I actually need to go in and do this again and watch it happen to be sure it's doing what I think it's doing. Yeah. Like literally that'd be a case where you'd be like, hey, it worked, right? We're done. No, no, no. My science brain is hurting right now. Okay, so please die and then like die in game, and then I will drop this pearl, please. Come on now. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, yeah, okay. Uh, okay, hold on. See, this, by contrast, is a valid test because I can evaluate this. This is literally saying, hold up. Did I get rid of all of the? I did. Okay, so it can't access what it needs to access because this is gone. So that is a good test. I know it doesn't look like it. Oh, good. By the way, altar flare was detected, already defeated. Wait, is that the one who was going to resurrect? Oh, bruh. Stop. That's an enemy card. What? that's not what you should be detecting because you should be scanning through. So literally, I dropped a pearl and it said, yeah, these are already dead. Hold on. Is it just grabbing a dumb name? I think it said it 3 times because it's actually looking at 3 different cards. In other words, my cards, not this one. All right. Multiple things going wrong? Yes, I think so. Let's pull that apart. This is why we test step by step so we don't have multiple things to look through. This line that we're seeing in the console is telling me the name of the card. Wait, what? It's using the card index. I just made this. Oh, I haven't even properly set the card index number. Shoot. Gerg. So this was garbage anyway. Like, this is garbage, and this is garbage, because I don't really know what the card index is. They all say 0 right now. Yeah, that's true. What are you going to do about it? I suppose I could wait and do this after. That's kind of silly that I'm setting all this and then removing them. Don't care. So, yeah, that was a odd series of things. Like, I did a test where everything seemed to work, and I said that was a bad test. And then we did a test where everything went wrong, and I said that was a good test, and I could change things. The difference is I could change things, and I knew what was going on. I didn't know what was going on when apparently everything worked. So that was a bad test. Because the testing is not about, the test results only matter if you can evaluate it. Depending on what it is you're testing, you need to have the conditions for evaluation set in your mind. What am I trying to find? In my case, I'm trying to see, actually, some data. It's not here on the screen. It doesn't matter what's happening on the screen, frankly. What's happening on the screen will be managed after the data works, I promise. But right now, my effect data is going to be telling us what cards it's looking at. And I just want to make sure that if there is a card that's already dead, that that's not on the list. Good. So died, and I drop a pearl. And after it initializes all the things, there's only one card left. This is card index 4, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Was worried there for half a second. So this matches 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is that one. And it matches 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, Coffee Badger. Yes. Coffee Badger don't care. So good. Because literally all I wanted to make sure was that this effect only cares about the cards that are still alive. Shall we move forward and watch this card be resurrected? In other words, that test proved to work. There are still other things we need to fix. And that might be shown here, if I can see this card die. What's this? Hey, we didn't resurrect. This effect is still alive. Does it know it needs to? Yes, it does. It knows it needs to, so I'll bet reforming this array may have messed up the resurrection routine. Death blow to Coffee Badger, which caused the battle end. Oh, that's painful, because that's true. It should end the battle. Shite. Why is this checking? So yeah, inversion bomb detected, already defeated. That's good. Lightning toad detected, already defeated. That's good. Okay, and Coffee Badger didn't care and killed another card. And then the battle cycle ended, and this problem happened. I saw this before. What is this? At the end of the battle cycle, player 2 card was being looked at because it's one of the card effects. And I make a wild assumption that if I have any to look at, there's going to be an index 0. I mean, that's not wrong, right? Because if there's no card effects, we just skip this. Oh, uh, mm, yeah, the index number, which was correct, 5 is the index number. 0, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, this index number is not right. Oh, no, that's the Pearl index, excuse me. 4, yeah, that's right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This card index is correct, and it's being used to say, take this number, crying out loud. Take this, wait, no, it is minus. Hold on, stop. Wait, yes, that's true. Because 4 is the full length of cards in play, both sides. And so that's not true when we're looking at just player 2. We do need to wait a minute. Is it out of range because this card is dead according to the prototype script? Kinda. Hmm. Um, this is a timing thing as well. There is mechanisms in the prototype script that's managing the battle, and I think what's going on right here, uh, our battle data is directly linked to the battle data on the prototype script, and so it manages the hit points of various cards, partly to determine the end of the round, etc. Mm, right now it said the end of the round because all cards on one side are dead. According to this, that's true. I kind of just want to make sure that if this part of what I was working on works and we can operate on that assumption, great, let's move on. So I'm keenly focused on things like this card index to make sure if that's the case, then I don't care about reforming that array beyond that. I can always access things like this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, this index that properly matches the card, the data, yes, in the battle data is not the same. Because the battle data is definitely taking things out when they're gone and defeated. Yeah. This is index 0, element 0, index 0. So if I say anything else, it's totally out of range. That error makes lots of sense. So here we are at the end of the battle cycle, and I'm doing this. So if I say, yeah, go look at the hit points on this card at index, what, 4 minus 3? That's index 1. There is no index 1. It's gone. And that's true. I mean, that's just true. What I'm running into is the way in which I've been able to access the right card is getting screwed up. I mean, it is working, except when I talk to an old script that is doing things slightly differently. Tell you what, I mean, what is this trying to do? It's trying to resurrect the card at the end of battle. And notice, I think did the rest of this actually work, or did it stop? It did stop, because otherwise it would have done this. Bruh. If I can access this knowing that regardless of what this card index number is, like use this card index to go find, this is so silly, but go find the name. There's the name. And now go find that name here, because there it is. And now you know what index to go look at here. Oh God, that's so silly. Well, it's non-destructive. It would allow the prototype script to do what it does. And wow, what garbage. All right. I mean, that is one way to get it done. I really need to access this card in the battle, which is going to be chaotic and messy. I know I can access it by name. Like literally this data needs to come first and the visualizations, including the objects, come later. So it's this that I care about. And the only way I can reliably access which index, because these are in sync, these are always in sync. The only way I can reliably figure out this index number is by name. Well, at least I know the name. Okay, that's ridiculous, but I think it would work. Now, I am doing this goofiness here. So this probably also failed. Is that true? These will always fail. I mean, it could actually succeed, but on accident. Because this card index does not relate to this at all. I thought, hold on, I really thought, um, I really thought that battle data kept the cards. Like, I remember looking at that just last time. I really thought that was true. Why did I think that was true? In the battle data, our prototype script is doing a lot. The list of cards in battle and their hit points. This data gets populated when they enter battle. Here they are. Well, of course, it's not consistent with the full list of cards. They haven't entered battle, but now they have. And in fact, they entered battle in strange orders. And they're defeated at random times. So now this will go away. This first light is dead, yes? Indeed, it's gone. I think name is the only way I can reliably do this. Now, this made sense for this prototype script to handle it this way. What's on the table should be reflected in data and vice versa. Made sense. It still makes sense, I guess. But because I'm trying to do this extra special thing, I'm saying, yeah, you remember that thing that should be gone forever? Bring it back. I mean, that's kind of weird, right? I'm trying to justify this. I'm going to say, fear not, I know the name of the thing. And because I know the name, I can find the index and use it to manage hit points. It's convoluted, I'll grant you that. But this does not work because I cannot rely on this card index to relate to this array at all, ever. I can rely on going through the array. That's fine. But yeah, this update stuff actually is looking at the cards it is affecting. So to come back and say, among the cards you're supposed to look at, now go through all the battle data to see, sorry, go through the battle data hit points to see if among the ones that are defeated is that this card. I think at some point I need to say that. Actually, I'm just looking for the first one that's defeated. Having taken care of the ones that were dead previously, that should be fine. Like it sits around and waits until one dies, and that's exactly what this does, and that's cool. But knowing which one that is, where do I actually do that? I don't. Like, I think for some of this, I don't care. It's whatever one died. So this is the only thing I care about. But among the cards in the hit points array of battle data, that just does not relate at all to this. This is garbage. No wonder we've been seeing effects thrown in weird places. That's really weird that it would tell me which card is dead, though. That's been consistent. Have I just been running into an accident over and over? Wow. So, no, because this is going through all the cards in the hit points array. No. I actually need to, from this point on, only access things by name. That's the only way to be sure what's going on. Oof. I need to redo this. Which is, yep, wow. Well, again, it's a good test when I can properly evaluate what's going on. In other words, I think I've been running into a whole bunch of accidents where it kind of looked like I was hitting the right card, but then I would see it do weird things. Well, that makes sense now. We're going to solve some problems, but we need to redo this. This is completely, well, it's okay to find that a card has died. It's not okay to know which one that is. In fact, could I at all figure out which card this is? Well, the name, actually, I could. Either way, I need to actually reference these by name, which is a bit silly, but there is only one card with that name, so I guess it's okay. In other words, these cards in play have a name. The card data has the same name. Great. And once I know the index of one, that's going to be fine. Either way, I need to do this by name. So I can find a card that has died on our side or their side or whatever. So again, when I figure out this effect that's just resurrecting cards or whatever, I'm actually figuring out multiple issues that are going to happen with other pearls, which means those are going to be, fingers crossed, easier. I promise. So, all right. If this is true, what I really should do is have a handy function that says, give me the index I need, or use the index I have. Basically, I need to translate between this array however that gets managed, which, as we mentioned, battle is chaos, and this array, which is very consistent. I need to be able to say I have an array index from this. Now give me this, if it exists. I think it's probably safer to say I have this array index. Now find me the very consistent one that's always guaranteed to be there. I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. Yes, it is better to do it that way. In other words, finding a card that died should be okay, as long as we now find the actual card in this array. It's not this. I mean, I'm going through the effects of the cards that I need to affect. Oh, shoot. My brain. Okay, all right, all right. Here's a pearl effect. And among all of the cards it's looking at, among all of the cards it is looking at one at a time. That's what this update is doing, is one of those card effects. I really need to go say, is that card dead now? I don't need to search through all the battle data. What is this? What am I doing? This is for each effect, I'm searching through all the... Okay. All right. This is an issue. I'm glad I'm thinking this through now and stopping to think it through, because I'm realizing I've done this incorrectly. Because there is a particular card I'm looking at right now. Now this is the pearl effect. Hold up. Damn it. Pearl effect. Look through all the card effects. Okay. I'm still sitting here looking at... Okay, no, this is doing it once, not several times. Oh, this is the funnest stream of all, right? Yes. I'm not going to worry about them. If I know this pearl effect is looking through the cards it needs, it's not actually, it's just saying I need to go find a card that died. I check to see if it's my side or their side. Oh, this is a bad way to do it though, because cards may have already died. I actually need to look through the cards that I need to look through. Okay. So I really do need to say, does this card exist in battle right now? And if so, has it died? And I need to do that by name. So the function I would probably want at least this one is to translate the it might be guaranteed that if I'm looking through all of the card effects, I've already culled the ones that are dead. And so I kind of guarantee that I'm going to find an HP value for this card. But I'm just saying potentially it might not be there because this battle data is wildly chaotic. Okay, I'll account for it potentially not being there. I need to maintain that. I picked the wrong day to stream, or sorry, the wrong time of day to stream because noise in the jungle. So, yeah, I think I need to develop a function specifically for this that I'm probably going to use again for other stuff. And I kind of need to consider that I might need to develop a function going the other way as well. Um, in fact, I'm almost certain I will need this. Um, because I use this data and I rely on things always being there and consistent, the prototype script is managing the chaos of battle, and so this is guaranteed to be chaotic and unreliable. So this is crazy, but I'm pretty sure I also need this because I'm going to use it. I almost thought I might need to use it here, but I'm deciding on going from the battle data and finding the card that I am managing. I'm pausing because it's like I'm thinking about how this plays out if because I'm developing mini rules, right? Rules to the game. And I'm saying this effect goes through the cards it's managing and decides if it has died. Or this effect sits there and looks at all of the cards for any one that might have died and checks and sees if it's one that it is supposed to look at and affect. This slight variation in the rule will matter. Imagine you have two cards you're managing, two cards get killed. Actually, this effect happens so, this check happens so often, it's probably going to be fine. All right. I may need to develop that as well, but I think right now I'm going to develop this. Make a function so I can call it and say, hey, I found a card that died. Give me the proper index that I need to use because I know I is the I know I is the index I'm working on right now. I don't know why I had that thing there before. I think I just copied code and that was wrong. This is dangerous as all get out. I need to stop making the drastic changes and think about it. Just go a little slower, please. It's this that's incorrect because I can't guarantee this at all. I don't know that I'm looking at card effect 0. What is this? This is definitely borrowed from here. Bruh. I'm doing two different things. This I just copied and pasted to somewhere else and didn't change it at all. That's the stupid move that I did. No wonder this isn't working. We're resurrecting the wrong card. We are grabbing the wrong health. I mean, there's just a million things that are going wrong here. But I still need to do this. I don't know which health I should be grabbing. Wait a minute. Do I know the health? Hold up. Man, I really just needed to look at that line of code that I pasted, because that would have saved some time, I think. I did not. Instead, I pasted code and said, yep, done, which never, ever, ever do that. You always look carefully at code you have pasted. It might be fast, but it's also likely to be in need of change. What the hell was I doing? So, do I already know the health of all the cards? Oh, bruh, I totally know this, right? Because even if the hit points are down, the health is still there. Dude. Okay. Innocent Wish has a health of 3. Its hit points are 3, but now the hit points are -1. The health is still 3. I know how to restore this card. Bruh. I probably still need these. I probably still do. I don't. This is not a thing because I can just do this. Like, literally, this is not the place to grab the health at all. Grab it from its own data set, please. Because, in fact, this is already known. This is already known. That index is consistent. Bruh. 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 Okay. This is what I mean. I just pasted and said, yeah, do that. I wasn't thinking at all. Oopsie. This is consistent. These indexes are consistent. So all that translation that I was about to do, I don't need to do there. And I don't need to do here because unlike what I was doing before, I'm actually checking out the effect. The Pearl effect needs to, yeah, I'm only looking at one card effect, and so I'm literally just grabbing index 0. There's only one card being resurrected, and so all of this is absolutely consistent. Done. Now I can actually grab the card index, yada, yada, yada. Okay, done. So down here, that made sense. Up here, it needed to change. What was I doing? I just pasted, said, yeah, done. Okay. Think this through. I mean, I actually think this is going to be necessary at some point. I think the reason I do this method of scanning for the first one of the cards that is, it finds that is dead. Oh yeah, that won't work. I will find a card that died, but it could have been one that died previously. This chaotic battle data might include one that had died before the pearl dropped. And what I need to do is correlate that with cards that we are actually looking at. So yeah, I do need this. In fact, I need to do this. In order to confirm that this is a valid one to begin resurrected, like I found a defeated card. But is this one we should resurrect? And the only way I can answer that question is by looking at the cards we're supposed to affect. If yes, then yes. If no, then no. And so I kind of need to know. And I do want to just get the index because I have a feeling this is going to be something I'm going to use somewhere else. Make a function because I can get the name from this index give me the index that is from this consistent card data that I have. Yes, 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 I need this function. What's this function? Yeah, sure. This looks like it needs to be. I order these functions just usually in order of how they're called in a typical run chronologically. So I guess this is good right here. So far so good. I think I know the answer to that question. So, all right. Give me an index number. I think that's a reasonable way to describe this. Um, hmm, well, I need to show. Wait, invalid? No, there's no invalid. Um, I'm trying to figure out if there's any way there's a potential it can't find it at all. And no, I don't think so. So from the battle data, there are cards. Oh, is it player one or player two? Actually, I need to know that. And I gotta do for both players. That's why I was making a separate function. It was going to be a little bit more than just the among the battle data and the player one cards. Give me this battle index because I'm going to use it and find the name of this card. Yeah? Okay, card name. So now I know um, what to go look for in and among the array that is consistent. So here we go. This is give me all the cards in play. Cards in play. These are card referencers. This should be fine because I have a name I can match. I mean, this is silly. I have card data. There's no reason not to do this. Card data is like a one-to-one match, as a matter of fact. So among all of these cards, there's also a name. Cool. Because guess what? I'm doing it the dumb way, and I'm going to do it the smart way in a second. This is the dumb way. I just want to see if these match. If that's true, then I know what my return index is. But this is the dumb way. Let's do the smart way. We're looking at P1 cards because this is a P1 card. going to go back and forth on what's the dumb way and what's the smart way. Just watch. So I'm going to paste, but I'm going to change stuff and look carefully at this. So whatever I pasted is okay. And yeah, but so is this the dumb way as well? Like, come on, give me one way that's not dumb. All right. Like literally, I do this. I'm copying code. So is this the dumb way? I mean, this would work. Meh, whatever. It's close. Right? You can call me that. What? Why are you complaining? Uh, what? What am I? What am I looking at? Visual Studio. What are you talking about? Uh, oh, it's complaining because this is effectively unreachable. What? What? Okay. You know, Visual Studio, I don't know what's up, but you're supposed to be helping me, so I'm gonna go with it for now and trust that you know what's going on. Yeah? No? Maybe? Suddenly this got nested 3 times. Awesome. Okay. You know, okay. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Here we go. This, I mean, actually, this is also. Yeah, and that's the right way to do it because I need to say if this is not that. Yeah, okay, all right, whatever's. So I need to say I have a player one or player two card with this index based on the battle data, which is all messy and crazy. Can you please find the proper card index that we use consistently by name? And this gives me that number. This. And the reason why that's going to help me is because after I find a card that died, well, that's great. Is it one of the ones we need to look at? Oh, shoot, that's a separate question. Damn. That is a separate question. So, hey, this Pearl is supposed to look for dead cards. So, go look for a dead card among those ones that we're supposed to look at. But we're not actually going through each card effect. We're really just looking at one side or the other. Oof. Man, I do need to do this. All right, let me do this. Because I need to ask two questions. Is this a card I need to look at? Because if not, I'm not doing anything. And if so, is it dead? These are two separate questions. And I'm answering none here. I'm not looking at any of the cards we're supposed to look at. And I'm finding arbitrary dead cards, but I don't know which ones they are. How ridiculous. How ridiculous. I do need this function. And I'm going to have to ask two questions. I mean, I kind of feel like this is symmetry to have both of these here. I am going to end the stream. I was going to make it a short one, and I'm going to finish this one function, which is going to help. We did find out lots of things we have to do, and no, we're not done. This is similar, but how should I name this? Battle index from card differences. And I don't care if it's player 1 or player 2. I know it's part of the beauty of the way that was formed. And absolutely that, and absolutely this. Except I would like to say -1 because I want this to be invalid if it does not find this. I want to be explicit about that. Okay, I think this is largely similar. Oh, it's two pieces of data. Well, no, it doesn't have to. So I give it one index, and it's going to look through the cards that we have. Card data we have. Okay, yeah, actually, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I'm going to compare it to the battle data to make sure it exists. But for now, if I say I'm looking at the card index, our card data has a name. I'm good. I really just need to. Yeah, actually, it's either going to be in player one or player two. And I almost don't care if it is player one or player two stuff, because if I'm asking for this by stop, find this card index, might not exist, but if it does, I can give it a single number that I know what to do with because I'm asking for a particular card in either player one or player two's side. So, okay. Wow, I think that's right. A player's battle data index. That's true. In practice, this might be a little crazy, but I think this is what I need to do now. So I have the name, and I have the battle data. So this battle data includes player one cards and player two cards. Yeah, I kind of need to look through these. Yeah? I mean, I could make this search a little bit faster, and I mean a little. Like, the computer does not care. I don't care. The human's never going to see the difference. If I input whether we're looking at player one or player two, stuff. Now, I think that's going to put a burden on me that I don't need to put on. And when I call this function, I shouldn't have to figure that out. I should let this figure it out, which it can. No problem. Yeah, I think that's right. Among all the ones in player one, yeah? We also need to for player two. Yes, I know. It's silly. And if we have, I mean, if we already found it, like, do we need to do this? Answer's no. I know, nesting. I know. For such a simple function. And I am pasting, so I'm going to be very careful to look through, but I just pasted. There we go. Go look through the player one and player two cards, find the one that matches by name for the card index we gave it, and return the index you found it at. Done. Now it might be -1 because it couldn't find it anywhere, but that's, I want that. I want to know that. Okay. All right. I know this is not satisfying to watch code and not even see any of that work, but here's what I needed to do. Yeah. And this is fine to find a single card that died, but it doesn't matter if I don't know if it matches what I'm supposed to look at. And so if I instead look through all the cards I'm supposed to look at and say, go find the battle data and the hit points of that battle data based on the card I'm supposed to look at. And now, is that dead? That's the right way to do that. There's no other way to do this because I'm not correlating any of these data. I'm just saying, yeah, go find a dead card. Cool. Am I supposed to look at cards? Yeah, okay, that's enough. And that's so not enough. I'm being an idiot. So here we go. I'm going to write the notes that tell me what I am going to do. Defeated, done. That's what I needed to do. Like, it took me an hour and a half, but I now know what I'm doing. I'm out because I need to go do other things. And what does this mean? We're doing the resurrection of cards. What we're dealing with is, well, more than one case where the timing you drop the pearl that makes the resurrection happen, the chaos of battle, and this prototype script all introduce some complications. And by focusing on these complications, we're able to meet the challenge, fix the thing, make it work. But if we ignore it, if we go fast, I mean, we already saw how I went fast and screwed things up. And so we're not doing that. We're going slow and be careful. The resurrection stuff, I'm hesitating to say works, but it does. We are finding the one we need to resurrect and turning it back on. That's working. It's just these other things we want to do before we leave this effect and then go to the other ones because the other ones are on deck. We're going to get these done. And lots of noise in the jungle. So I have to end the stream. But there's actually multiple things we're doing. And I need to fix me. I need to say see attack update for defeat detection. Check per card effect instead. So this is telling me what I need to do when I come back. All right. Hey, we had fun. You know what we did? We saw a bunch of code. Wow. I'm struggling to find out what we did. We found errors. Believe it or not, that's a good thing. And when we were able to evaluate what was going on with that error, we were able to do much better things. Ugh, that is so unsatisfying. I know. But marching toward progress of a game completion in any software development, no, that's not how it works. In fact, any entertainment doesn't work that way either. But the more we fumble around in the dark, the more we run into problems, the more we stumble, the more we're learning about what needs to happen, and it's actually getting pretty good. Um, we're getting closer to finding some of the key Perl effect features we want and getting them to work. That means future Perl effects are going to have something to work on. We are building these Perl effects brand new. So, yeah. Have fun. See you. Take care. Bye bye.